Shield pokes is a defensive mechanic in the Soulsborne games, and you might have seen it in PvP or from the legend himself. Yeah, it is an attack that only works when you're in a guard pose. Block him with a dagger, maybe a straight sword, but mainly a shield to take less damage. Duh. But my goal today is to answer the question, can you beat Dark Souls 3 by only shield poking and no dodging? Rule number 1. We can only attack with shield pokes. It is compatible with a shield and a spear. But in some cases I will use rapiers. They share the same ability, but rapiers are much faster. The main idea really is to not perform basic attacks, backstab or apostle, nor plunge attacks. Rule number 2. We cannot dodge in any form of way. That includes backstabbing, rolling, quickstep and no running. Although the running was a temporary rule, because it made the run more boring rather than challenging. Rule number 3. No summons. Rule number 4. Beat the game. We're only skipping the DLCs this time. I picked the herald class since it already has what we need to start with, the spear and the kite shield. That is already a good start for this run. Obviously there's nothing wrong with the stats really. Wow, what a sharp jawline. Although...
Oh, hell no.
Alright, look. The stability mechanic is super important to this run. Not gonna go deep into it, but you better listen closely. Stability is a stamina reduction that scales percentage-wise. If a shield has 43 points in it, it's a 43% reduction to your stamina consumption when blocking. It's another story for shield pokes. It's a pain to say the least, since Gunder is beyond mobile and fast. Thankfully, most of his attacks can be strafed, so it wasn't that hard. Although I would constantly guard break. Thing is, I always hold down the R1, which recovers less stamina. Oh shit! Cut! Not bad for a first try. I think I speak for everyone here. The shield pokes lock in a stance. Incredibly hard to deal with in large crowds of enemies. But from here we'll only grow stronger. I don't know why I thought of this, but the halberds cannot shield poke. What a pleasant surprise. Level up vigor, endurance and dexterity. Now while parries are allowed, I most of the time, by accident, riposte, when it's really just intended to get hits in. A Titanite shard, and the Silver Eagle Kite Shield. It is a Daniel, and the Kite Shield is the cooler Daniel. It is outclassed. Grab the rapier, what a nice touch. It looks like my inventory has variation. Not. And to prevent myself from using the b-button, I changed the key binding. But a time into the fighting period, I switched it back to default. It wasn't a hassle in the beginning, but I came soon to realize that I had a direct counter to my setup. Mostly in the second phase, where he has this get off me hammer slam, which he literally spam picked. Basically, my weak ass loses stamina all too much, and so I allowed myself to run. This was so I could get better mobility, leaving me to smack him so hard he turns to ash. Talk Joel out of killing himself. Spy on Leonard casually wearing the hardest hat in Fashion Souls. Needless to say, I got myself the Spartan Spear from a hanging corpse. Level up 14 strength to one-hand the spear. The Partisan is a very good strength weapon that stands out for its horizontal heavy attack, being rare for spears. Definitely hits harder and makes for a really good upgrade. Still not enough for the crow b****s that rip me apart. They also fight like my little sister. Fast forward, the mad woman hated that I hated on her people, so she humbled me pretty badly. Told Andre about the incident, then went crying out to the house. After getting some comfort, I level up my intelligence 9 so that I can cast the magic shield. In this point into the run, I might as well give some facts for how shield pokes work. Doing some research, I found out that the spear's stability and moveset is the mechanic that mainly consumes stamina by a lot, which can easily get drained with a simple kick, resulting in a guard break. For instance, our spear has 26 points. In the moment of shield poking, the player blocks the enemy attack with the spear, basically like this. It also depends on the green bar's capacity. Dodge, this makes no sense. Who came up with the idea in the first place? Hey, calm down, the devs just balanced out the attack. They knew it'd be too OP, otherwise you buffoon. Our intelligence stat increased to 10, and we get closer to the upper levels of the turtle builds. Magic Shield is an amazing spell, perfect for a turtle like myself. It increases stability by 20% of the original stat. The buff lasts for 1 minute, which becomes 1 minute and 16 seconds with the lingering dragon ring. Now there's not much that can stop me, right? Well, that's correct. Hone the spear. Just look at this knight, his sword suddenly became blunt. All I can agree on is that it's really good in the early stages. A fork spear? Okay, like what? Eat food? Level endurance? Yet again upgrade and infuse the partisan to then take on the sage. The Crystal Sage fight is one of the easiest fights in Dark Souls 3 and one of the Imperial bosses. I can't repulse them, but I still got hits in. But him teleporting is honestly not the best feature for me. In the end, I nearly lost the life out of me, but somehow came through. Like the one I am, full of greatness. Level up vitality to 18. Then he kindly gave me his heavy gem. Couldn't use it yet since we need the fire and coal for that. It lets me infuse a sharp, heavy or poison. The heavy infusion is the play here. It is a strength-based spear after all. With it done, I take on the rotting tree. With charcoal resin greased up, it popped the balloons quicker. Although for some reason I never got to hit him consistently, practically losing the weapon buff over time. He didn't like that I popped his bubbles and power slammed me in response. But with my trusty kite shield I made quick work of him. With transposing kill, I received the Crystal Sage's rapier for his soul. The Sages. Like the longer range, they boost in undiscovery and innate magic damage. Another boss weapon that has innate status effect is Arthur's Spear. Poison specifically. The X increasing to 13. Arthur's Spear is really the only spear of boss weapons, because it is not a crossbreed with a sword. I wouldn't call it competition, but the kite shield needs replacement, which I farmed for the Lothric Knight Shield, which is all in all better with decently high lightning negation. Progressing through the game like normal, and the Chlorolanthy ring is important to grab. Then spontaneously get repostalled. Don't like this guy at all. The boss run back was hellish, aside from it being blasphemous to the cathedral. The deacons were also hellish. But before the boss talk, I want to say that the Deacons of the Deep have one of the most idyllic places I've come across. But there's one problem. I'm literally fighting my run's weakness. They're obviously tanky for my build, which is embarrassing to say. They multiply as time goes on, and their fireballs tear me through even though my negation is around 64. Clearly it's 100% fire damage. It was just hard to keep up. So I upgraded strength to wield the shield that I couldn't, until now. Although with it having the same problem, I turned towards the Fern Keep instead to face the Watchers. The Abyss Watcher are as expected to have 0 difficulty. First try them to reliterate. While in the area, I farmed for the Black Knight Shield. I did this before the fight just so you know. And there we go. I have a 100% fire resistant shield that also ranks as the best medium shield in the game. I grabbed the Saint's Spear in the cathedral. It's outside the front gate. Back to the deacons, my solution to all of this was to lure them all to the back of the arena, facing the boss separately since they spawn facing the gate. The big blue fatties are non-spawnable. They do the same as the normal Garlocks, but they can heal the Archdeacon. And now the Horde was back. But luckily, From Software is kind enough to allow us to bring them permanent death. And I oblige. Myself, that is. To then kill the Archdeacon. Note that the guards becomes way more aggressive when you lay hands on the boss. Their input reads are by all means devastating in that case. Vigor at 20, Dex at 18. And Wolnir. This felt like a chore. Sorry not sorry, the Wolnir fight is tedious. After defeating the Big Bone, I wandered to Urithil. But before that, we need a new spear, of course. Something etiquette like that has long range, huge defense and large damage. Needless to say, grab the pike by farming it from hollows who think they're in childhood land. I always respect those who want to relive memories. Yeah, like playing with a stick is just that. But while I knew this was it, the Lothric Longspear is essentially the same thing, only that it has extra poise additions. So with that, we farm it from the Lothric Spear dudes. Level Lothric Longspear to +3. This item is without doubt meta. Not only that, it looks like a Spartan spear, with that red cloth hanging on it. Absolutely beautiful. Another awesome spear that I will probably forget about. Level up the spear. Level up into 14. The first phase turned out to be more than meets the eye. It was easy at first, he didn't spontaneously guard break me, but the clones from the second phase were only increasing the movement and the mobility, all while he was already fast paced. And I know for a fact, I am not gonna be able to defend everything, but sometimes I will find it mandatory to lock off to block devastating attacks. In most cases, that's when a clone and a boss mirror attacks. I would, for example, 360 to block the attacks that the boss performed. from what the clones attacks that I blocked earlier from. But again, the grab attacks are the biggest vulnerabilities. Yes, that guys. Did you know that? This guy has it all, I guess. After killing the third clone, the serious aftermatch begins. For once in this run, we can steamroll. I am also preparing for the great magic shield here. Like if we can kill Sullivan, a literal god, I doubt there's anything we can't do. Level my golden piece of this run. The old Demon King fight was looking, I don't know, old. But with human pine resin, I ended this fight far quicker. At best, hug him enough to avoid the combustion attacks. But that attack aside from his hammer ones are a heavy burden to say the least. Bouncing off is the only way to take in all the energy of the force. That said, the recovery animation is so slow, I found it hard to get in attack windows. Just like Vort, he can attack vertically, which counters my whole setup. But backing away enough so that it is in front of me can make it blockable. But it's almost impossible to do that, since you need to be very close for him to do that attack. Additionally, backing away without accidentally rolling is tough. We're only mere numbers away from the great magic shield. Level the rapier. Okay, I might have overvalued myself. 1, this is a gimmick boss. 2, the spear is narrow and doesn't hit horizontally. 3, it's slow like me. The rapier is definitely the better choice here. Although the same moveset, he's pretty resistant to magic, believe it or not. To add up with its low level, it is cute time for this angry boy. Then on the second try, I got the Gargoyle's flame spear from the gargoyle. Then waste some materials, you'll know why later. Then Aldrich, it was surprisingly bad. She's usually weak to fire. In conclusion, innate weapons are not that great. Invest in weapon buffs instead. But I won't. As always, circle around her when she uses the bow. In her fire state, she smacked me real hard, magically disabling my controller. Indeed, I had to switch to the keyboard in the second phase. Although the boss is actually not that hard of a fight and the controls are pretty easy to understand, I really disliked it all when I had to experience using a USB cable for the controller. My Bluetooth connection is kinda doo-doo. Let's go! We can cast a spell now. High five! Oh. I can finally try the Great Magic Shield. It's probably one of the most no skill, but it's also one of the best sorceries you can get your hands on, since it boosts stability by 15%, which means most shields won't take stamina damage at all. Now I think it might be the best sorcery in the game. Just note that it lasts half as long as the Magic Shield. Still makes it the most useful. Think of it as the aggressor, since you can attack frequently without much consequence. But it didn't help much for the mimic here. I got devoured. Wow, he enjoys that human flesh, huh? Yes, I do. I tried to get the golden ritual spear, for it being based with magic damage. That said, it's a staff, so there is some potential. Some bosses are known to be hard, like Dancer, she's designed for it. But it is hard in the way that this boss has a grab attack. This only becomes more of a problem. But don't worry, getting out of the hitbox is easily done by running away from it. You can also circle around her during it. A final poke on the butt, she goes to ash. And that is it for the Great Magic Shield. Yes, I'm sorry. It is really good, but it makes boss's difficulty off the radar trivial. Stumbled upon this Estus shard. The Twin Dragon's fire couldn't be blocked, and it was impossible to warp through. I took the longer route. While there, I got some materials for our spears. The Gargoyle's flame spear was useful for once. Burned them like I burned my bread. That said, our equipment load is only increasing by the numbers. The Herald's ring alleviates that, which comes from the stray demon's soul. And doesn't my new fashion just shine with a ring? Then I upgraded the main weapon. Luckily on this time, the dragon's fire was super delayed. It didn't even spit it once. Collected Titanite scales to upgrade the crystal rapier, as well as chunks for the spear. Then pay a visit to Vitality to 14. Then after having some minor Alzheimer's, I finally upgrade Orange Flask, as well as the spear. At this point I thought Sigurd despawned, he isn't where he should be. But eventually looking through the wiki, we get this lab. With a maxed out spear, the only thing stopping me was a demon butterfly. The Dragon Slayer armor became once again an obstacle for us. With his lightning penetrating my shield and that it hits hard, I not only lost a lot of health, I got fouled with negative stamina more and more often. And as mentioned at the start, I actually had to stop and look at what the butterflies are up to. Their laser attacks can penetrate the shield, and so I need to reposition doing that. Got targeted twice to the demon balls. Switching turn Lothric Night Shield made me win because it had 80% lightning negation, meaning I became a truly unmovable force. A turtle. Realistically though, it made the fight trivial. I never noticed it until now of how much lightning affected, but it only took 26 attempts for the P.E.K.K.A. Time for a Great Lance switch. I want to note that it has 5% more physical reduction. Get it upgraded and infused, refined. And grab the Great Shield of Glory, which we will literally never use in this run. Same as the other shield, they have a higher strength requirement. We can't wield it yet, so we'll see about that in the future. I was thinking, rock? The Great Lance is the highest strength required of all spears. Because of that, I switched to the heavy infusion on the lance. Obviously the scaling strength also becomes the highest in terms of attack power. It weighs 10.5 units. It means I change fashion. Call me the Assassin Turtle. Ninja Turtle would be copyright. Let's take a look at Assassin and Grand Archive. Crap. Is it too late to say that I switched to places of the Lloyd rings? Wouldn't you know it, I got myself here. Somehow. And in this case, our shield pokes take 15% less damage. That said, we still have the refined infusion on the Osiris fight. I know, but I wonder how this run does against the optional bosses. For this one, surprisingly easy. His charge attacks were only threatened. Only because my reaction time sucks. Why does he spam the same attack? Like, why? Other than that, the first phase was a cakewalk. That's maybe because he got a stick as a weapon. Lucky for me. Cornering him disabled the high dealing charge attacks. That was my path to greatness, aside from Osiris. The champ Gundyr is a big boy. By that, it's a lot of souls we can get rewarded for. Thus we fight. My overconfident ass underestimated this boss. He's fine in the first phase, because he's less aggressive and very scripted. Second phase is all I hate about. I hate not saying it in the context, but I got so frustrated that my controller wasn't wireless. Because sometimes the fight would be a loss every time it disconnected. Every inch of incorrect movement, every hesitation. Would the controller respond with disconnection? And I die a lot. And because of that, I went to the Archdragon Peak to defeat the bosses. Ancient Wyvern is known for its gimmick. Just simply not how you fight him. And so I listened to the game's intention. Not what I normally do playing Dark Souls. Can you relate? But it kept me distracted from the champ, who he really was now. Unfortunate for him, I was only getting stronger. The longer I progressed, I felt like I was almost complete. The Dragon Slayer Spear is apparently a weakness to Champion Gundyr. It was not!
We're the real heroes!
At this point, I'm doing everything else than a Lord of Cinder. But really, I'm gathering enough materials for the rapier. Like farming stuff from the Archdragon Peak. Or something. But right now, I'm hoping I can do something against him. Oh my god, I was so close here. I thought of multiple ways to defeat him. Resins, Iron Flesh, and Great Magic Shield because I was getting desperate. But then, I found Power Within and what it could do. Apparently, it is in the big library. We can't get in there. It's only Yorm left to get the key to the archives from a dead assassin. You know when I said no summons? Fuck! This was my mistake of breaking my own rules. I want to be completely honest, I forgot that freeing him also made him able to actively go and kill Yorm. It's for a good cause though. And lord, that damage is horrible. This Onion Knight can definitely solo Yorm. Only the problem is that he's not good at dodging or healing. Thus I give him my best efforts and sacrifice myself to be a human shield for him. To be soaking up all of Yorm's attacks and Onion slashing wind at him. It made it for a satisfying kill. That grind was completely useless. I can imagine the Lost Lake boss fight being just as hard as Champion Gun there, since it's fast paced and all. With the Grand Archives unlocked, I could not only farm souls now, I could grab Power Within. It's one of the best spells in the game, and for a build like this. Although this build is ideally for defensive play, who said I couldn't be aggressive? Before I fight aggressively, I entirely maxed out my loadout, and apparently I didn't script here for some very odd reason. But without further ado...
Hey, it's me!
This is retribution for how many attempts that took.
Why won't you die? Nanomachines, son. They harden in response to physical trauma. You can't hurt me, Jack.
Grab the honest ending, letting the flame go. Level of vigor to 22. Pick some human ashes for her to sniff. In contribute, she offers the gold pine resin. Grab the rock armor. Wait, does this mean?
Bring it on!
Yo, when you come to it and you can't go through it and you can't knock it down, you know that you found the wall. No man on earth can make it fall. When you come to it and you can't go through it and you can't knock it down, you know that you found the wall. No man on earth can make it fall. I was a high school legend, weightlifting machine. At 10 years old, I was 5'4" and 215. At 18, squatting the grand, rattling cages like nobody can. No slugs, I'll slap you with God-given strength. From a lot of time spent in the gym on the bench, on the incline. My numbers is divine, greatest of all time, the strongest man breathing.
Nothing but heavy hits, hands harder than bricks. I bring you meaning to the words, getting your ass kicked. When the walls throw bolos, heads get flown, bro. Torsos get squeezed, suckers' ribs get broke. Punks, better look out, the walls gon' fall. Right up on your crew and crush them all. Me like a bullet against tank. Ball made still, you chumps is wet paint.
When you come to it and you can't go through it and you can't knock it down, you know that you found the wall. No man on earth can make it fall. When you come to it and you can't go through it and you can't knock it down, you know that you found the wall. No man on earth can make it fall.
Mountain wide and over you I'm skyscraping. So massive I break scales on the way in. The world's strongest pull bones out of sockets. When it snap like a dance, you'll be begging me to stop it. Big black wall that'll block out the sun.
6'4", 380. Listen to you scream like a lady. No ifs, ands, or maybes. My power is crazy, impervious, brute. Make it easy to smash.
Bring it on!
It is a good build. but I just don't think it's good enough to be used in every situation. But I still learned a lot, like mostly there are ways around his weak points. You could probably make this run easier than mine, like using a great magic shield on a great shield. Hope you enjoyed it. But wait a second, did I forget someone? Subscribe.